Welcome to the sixth episode, it's a sixth, right? Of Cooking the Books, and our guest today is Julie Powell, the author of Cleaving and far and away the most famous person we've had on the show. I've got to
Wow, ouch.
Well, I hope that none of our previous guests will be insulted by that, but I'm sure they would agree with me that Nora Ephron has never, made a movie of any of their books.
Yeah, Nora Ephron does kind of. Once she comes on the landscape, things change a little, that's true.
A little bit.
My life is really not as exciting as people think it is.
This book, it describes a period of your life when actually a lot of super exciting stuff
Exciting is a word, I guess, yeah.
Well, you learn how to be a butcher, which I think is actually a fantasy for not maybe a ton of people, but
more and more people. It really is becoming a thing.
I think a lot of us go to our new super cool butcher shops that are opening up, or maybe we take a class at Meat Hook and we're like, whoa, ripping the guts out of animals all day.
Sounds awesome. Yeah, I don't know what it is that all of a sudden this is the thing everyone wants to do, but it really, when I was doing it,
it's kind of the being a librarian of 2010,
which means it's never going to go anywhere in 2 years from now. It's all going to be over, but no, there is something very primal and empowering about it for some reason.
I liked a lot of things about this book, but some of my favorite scenes in the book are just your very specific descriptions of what happens when you break down an animal.
I'm glad that you say that, because it's very difficult to know. Does anyone give a shit about this? And can I even describe it? It's very difficult. It's like writing a textbook in some ways, when you're really sitting there trying to remember, how do I describe this so that anyone's going to even get it?
Well, the subtitle is A Story of Marriage, Meat, and Obsession. So meat is only, I guess, a third of what the book is about. The rest of it is about marriage and obsession, and the person you were married to and the person you were obsessed with, two different people.
It felt important to me to write the book, both for myself, because as someone who uses my life as creative fodder, part of the process is of figuring out what the hell just happened here is to write about it, but also because, oddly, I felt like the book is a tribute, in a way, to our marriage and honoring the fact that it got way more difficult and way more confused and way more painful than what I had depicted as this sort of lovely. It's depicted as a pretty strong marriage in Julie and Julie. It's not as pretty, perky, beautiful as the movie is.
Made it into a story.
And I think that's one of the reasons people reacted badly to the book. I think there are several reasons that I have, in my mind, but one of them is there was this facet to some of the criticism, especially stuff that just came over the internet and people, that was like terror. There was this undercurrent, they were very, very angry, and there was almost this undercurrent of panic, as if, because I cheated on my husband, their marriage was threatened.
It's like a way that they can call you out on being sort of unethical. But no one ever calls men out on being unethical in the process of writing a book. It's like, oh, Jonathan Ames, he really probably hurt a lot of women's feelings. So we're gonna make Valentine's Day liver. And this is
pork liver. This is basically, it's the recipe. It's almost not even a recipe. It's so easy, but that I write about in Cleaving, and in the book it's beef liver. But Tom at Meat Hook didn't have any beef liver, so we're going to use pork liver. It is an origin.
That's the texture of something that Nickelodeon would make for kids to play with, like gack. So we're going to caramelize the onions first, get that going for about half an hour, and then we're going to deal with this pork liver. So now we're going to take this pig liver and we're going to cut out its various ducts.
Yeah, these things are going to be a little tough, so you want to get rid of as much of it as you can.
There's this particular line. I don't know exactly why why beef liver is one of the most passionate things you can eat, it's pork liver in this instance.
Yeah,
yes.
Pretend. No, it's the same.
It's sexy as hell, but difficult too. Somehow faintly forlorn. Like there's no denying that something was torn from something for your pleasure. Ooh.
Yeah, I actually tried to feed liver to D in the book once. Didn't go over that well. You can't just foist liver on anybody. Like, I'm foisting it on you. Congratulations. But it is definitely intense and not for everybody. And yet I am a bit of a missionary on the subject of liver.
Now that our pork liver is essentially duct-free.
Essentially duct-free, yes.
It looks so much cuter already. We are going to, stroke it gently. Appreciate its Nickelodeon gaff-like texture. And then we're going to dredge it, and we're going to enjoy the drudgery of dredging it in a combination of just regular flour and freshly ground pepper and salt.
Sometimes I find that when I put the salt and pepper in the flour, I can't ever get the portions right and it winds up bland. So I tend to give a little extra.
How long does it take?
You know, honestly, I cook it no more than a minute aside. You're doing pretty much the same thing you do with steak. But again, like I say, the danger is overcooking it. You really don't want to do that. So I would rather risk it being, I want it pink in the middle.
All right.
Shall we?
Yeah.
Give it a try?
My first pork liver experience. Popping my pork liver cherry.
Pork cherry.
That is just an appetizing way of putting it. All right. And with the caramelized onions. That's fucking dynamite. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about eating this much of it. It would be like eating like a wad of pate, sort of.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what it is.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much for making me eat liver.
Yeah, you're
I'm
welcome.
Genuinely grateful, actually, for that. All right, Chicken Books, over and out.
It ain't the meat, it's the motion. Makes your daddy wanna rock. It ain't the meat, it's the motion. It's the movement that gives it the sign.